Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. You could have been just about any place else. And listen, it is not too late, but I really do appreciate you being here. So, that being said, now that we have a captive audience, let's get on with it, shall we? It is the countdown to as ever. In just a few hours for me, it is going to be December 2nd. But this weird thing with time, I don't know if we're in one of those time continuums or the Marvel universe, because I could have sworn I heard Anne say that it was already December 2nd for her. I don't know how that's possible. She was saying something about tomorrow. Um, well, for us, it's going to be another 28 hours, I think, here in the central time zone. So, yeah, I'm all confused. Hey, Joan Garcia, Hazel Jones, Heather Stroud, Carol Lund, Elaine Parker. Elaine, you're up late tonight. Church Nellie, the birthday girl, is here. All right, for that. Um, anyway, there was a letter from, hey, Kavan Slims. And who else? Bunny Rose too. Jari. Jetstar. Connie Bomber. Connie Bomber. I don't have much of a voice today, do I? Let's see. H Knight. Hi everyone. Just got home. Glad to catch a live for a change. Well, thank you so much for 43 months membership. All right. Thank you very much for that. And also, those of you that gifted our memberships recently, thank you so much. I saw that a lot of new members have joined Royal Sussex. So yeah, thank you very much for that. Beverly Jackson, Marcia Ware, Khalil Similane is here. Yep. Lydia Washington. Okay. Well, without any more delay, let's see, what am I trying to do here? Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy. Today is Church Nellie's birthday. Meet me at the Royal Sussex party. Hazel Jones is going to be there. All right, Ivy out. You know what? I have not come down from my high yet. As you know, All right. Well, Elaine Parker, thank you for being a member. And thank you for the super sticker. And Joan Garcia, thank you for 47 months membership. Can you believe I've been with Royal Sussex since Tina and Michelle recommended you? I cannot believe it. It has been just that long. I don't believe it. Of course, I can believe that. And thank you so much. Okay. Now, seeing that someone is a year older, can you all read the hieroglyphs that I put up here? Since the birthday girl's birthday, I don't know. I got a feeling it dates back to the time of the pharaohs, but can you guys decipher the hieroglyphs? Anyone? What does it say? Oh, come on. If those Egyptologists can do it, surely we can too. Come on, you guys can figure this out. I'll give you a minute. Just think like an Egyptian. Walk like an Egyptian. Yeah, walk like an Egyptian. Yes, yes, Kavan Slims. You got it. You got it. Is Church Nail Lee. Get it? Church Nail Lee. Wow, very impressive. I knew somebody would get it. And for that, you get some flowers. Wow. I mean, a whole chat full of people, and only one person got that? Church Nail Lee? Okay, I understand the Bruce Lee thing, but no, Church Nail Lee. Wow, that's scary. All right. Anyway, well, let me just say, for your sake, I probably only got it because I put it together. All right. So, very good. It's Church Nell Lee. That's the birthday girl. So, take a look here. What else would Church Nellie want for her birthday than a Feliz Campaños Church Nelly? No, that's too French. I'm trying to do the a very Latino sound. Anyway, happy birthday from Nacho Figueres. And I thought that this image looked familiar, but I guess not. I guess he must have saved this for Church Nelly's birthday. And look at that designer shirt that he's wearing. I can barely make out those initials, but I think it says NNC. Huh. Isn't that something? Nelly and um no, Nacho and Church. Okay. Nacho and Church Nelly. Got it. Isn't that interesting? Well, I tell you, this guy is sprung. Although I couldn't imagine why, because I mean, have you seen his wife? Well, I guess what was that song? Once you go black, you never go back. And of course, if it's too early, then how about a midnight ride? You start now and you drive until the sun goes down. But yeah, nothing better for birthdays than nacho. And of course, what makes a better birthday gift for Church Nelly than some custom wines? You see there? Uh-oh, I think I messed that up. I'm missing an R. Okay, just pretend like there's an R there. I just noticed that. It is Chooch Nelly's. instead, instead of Church Nelly, it says Chooch Nelly's. Well, I'm sure that's a good wine too. Chooch Nelly's. Yeah, it's a collection of wine called Chooch Nelly's. And as you can see here, let's all wish Church Nelly a very happy birthday. Now, if you haven't done it yet, make sure you go over to the community post because there is a card there for you to sign. You know how we do it. So you go to where it says community. Well, actually, it says post now. You go to the Royal Sussex menu where it says post, and there's a card there. Let me see how many people have already left a greeting. Um, let me see. I hope it's all polite greetings and not laced with profanity. That's why I deleted mine. Wow, 83 messages and 355 likes. My videos don't get that much. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Oh, wow. This is really nice, Church Nelly. An outpour of affection. These are some names I haven't even seen in a while. My goodness. I don't get that much action on my cards. How do you do it? I see Rachel, is that Cherry? Connie Balmer, Juliet Holder, April May. Wow, everybody's here. Wow-wee. Now that is an outpouring of affection. I see Lydia Washington, Beverly Jackson. Okay. Okay, I'm a little jealous. I guess I am going to have to go in there and throw some F-bombs. I guess I am going to have to go in there later and throw a few F-bombs. How dare you get a better response for your birthday? Okay. Oh, that's very nice. That is very nice. Okay. And oh, look at there. There was a message from Hollywood. It says, "Happy birthday, Church Nelly. I bet you can't do this." Wait, I must have had some wine. How did I get a this? Anyway, I bet you can't do this. Oh man. You know what? I don't even know if it's right to compete with Jennifer Lewis after that horrendous accident she had. I don't think anybody should compete with her. Just let her have it. Of course, I have speculated that this is probably what she was doing when she went off that wall, but don't let me be the one to say that. Someone else needs to be the one to point that out. But that's what happened when you can't keep your feet down on the floor. Keep both of your feet on the floor, firmly planted on the floor. If you're going to walk around with one leg up in the air most of the day, then yeah, accident. You guys, that's not funny. She could have really hurt herself. And I am just shocked that you all are laughing. But yeah, she could have really hurt herself. So let's all try to be a little sensitive. And plus, there were lessons to be learned. From that fall, I think she has established that the lions do not sleep at night. She said she could hear them roaring in the distance. A week, a whack, a week. You guys, that's not funny. She hurt herself. Now stop it. I said stop. She could have really hurt herself. Well, she did hurt herself. I mean, imagine flying all the way back to the United States in that position. Until you could have a proper surgery. You know what I'm saying? It must have been humiliating for her to get medevaced out of whatever country she was in that position. How do you explain that to the doctors? Right? How did they get her? Listen, stop it. This is not funny. She really hurt herself now. let me keep going. Anyway, Jennifer Lewis wishes Church Nelly a happy birthday. Okay, okay. Let me see. Happy birthday, Nelly. Yes, okay. See us on the lights of Broadway. Oh, oh, you guys, I think we may have to we may have to leave we may have to leave Church Nelly and Nacho to their own devices. Uh Anyway, well, look, we promised not to look, but no, I thought Church Nelly would like this. This is a very provocative image of Nacho, who is the face of actually, the international face of Ralph Lauren. Yes, that's who he is. He is the international face of Ralph Lauren. Okay, now, I composed a little song for Church Nelly. Um, I thought about where she would likely hang out, um, on her birthday. And I don't know. How did I know? I started thinking saloon, a dive, a little hole in the wall. Church Nelly. That's pretty much pretty much any place they serve liquor. That's what I started thinking about. Let me see. Kavan Slim says, "Are the royal rodents and deranged extra psycho lately?" Yes, they are. Yes, they are. There's a lot of good evidence of that, seeing that they all are running over to Substack now. So, yeah, not only that, but I think they have been like doing an extra push. Maybe they're trying to raise money for Christmas or something like that. But yeah, they've been doing like an extra push. They're all a little more productive than I'm used to seeing. Oh, by the way, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, so as I said, I composed a little song for our church Nelly on her birthday. Let me see. Hold on a second. Uh-oh. Oh well. I was looking for my harmonica so I could find my note. But what difference would it make? I start on one note and then I end up on something else anyway. So why do something right today, right? Okay. This is a very touching melody. I had put this together myself. Okay, you ready? Somewhere slumped over a bar stool, the drinks aren't free. Is the person that we all love, that is Church Nelly. Join in if you know the words. Join in if you know the words. Someday she will wish for a drink, and it will cost more than she thinks, 'cause it's not pee. And she'll get into a ballroom brawl and wish she took her Geritol and maybe lose a teeth. Whew. I'm getting down, ain't I? So if you're waiting for Nacho, it's gonna take more time, 'cause he's married to another woman. So just wait another few years and drink more wine, as ever wine too. All right. And this is the okay, this is the big ending. Are you ready for it? Here we go. And if you're saving for a new wig, you'll be fine. There's a place you forgot to look. Have you tried the five and dime? Yes, have you tried the five? Have you tried the five and dime? I told you there was something about this song. I'm sure you're all in tears at those very sentimental lyrics. One more time. So if you're waiting for Nacho, it's gonna take more time, 'cause he's married to another woman. So just wait another few years and drink more as ever wine. Okay, that part right there kind of hurts the music, but you know. And if you're saving for a new wig, you'll be fine. There's a place you forgot to look. Have you tried the five and dime? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you guys. Now, um, in lieu of gifts for Church Nellie, I know exactly what she wants. Where's that Cash App? Where's that Cash App? I know exactly what she wants. You just put it on the Cash App. I'll make sure she gets something. I'll make sure she get exactly what she got coming. Anyway, happy birthday, Church Nellie. Many happy returns of the day. Oh, Tiffany wishes Church Nellie a happy birthday. Let me see. Was there anyone else? Oh, check this out. Check this out. Remember those people from the Not My King? Check it out. They snuck into Buckingham Palace and took their jackets off to reveal their t-shirts that says Church Nellie. Isn't that something? You never know what people think about you. Although I have to say, R, isn't he the one that usually has the M? Will someone tell him it's not polite to point? Somebody tell him it's not polite to point. Anyway, let me see. Is there any other birthday treats? Oh, I know. There we go. One of the looks that have inspired Church Nellie all these years with Royal Sussex, the dreaded blue jumpsuit. There you go. The dreaded blue jumpsuit. We go back a long way, the Sussex squad, and that dreadful, dreadful jumpsuit. Now we're going to play a little game. From right to left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put down the two numbers that are not. I repeat. See, I already made it. I already gave it away, didn't I? Said the two. Never mind. I was going to have you put the two numbers that is not Sophie Wessex, but oh well, I've already given it up. Anyway, happy birthday, Church Nellie, and many happy returns of the day. And let's have a birthday salsa. birthday, Church Nelly. We all love you, and we are so lucky, fortunate, blessed that you're part of this community. All right. So, as you can see, I didn't give it much thought. Just something I put together last minute. Where is Church Nelly? Oh, you see there? You guys have gotten Church Nelly all emotional. And now she done ran out to her steel and went and filled up another jug. See there? Y'all got her all emotional. Oh well. What else we got for today? Besides Nacho. Hey, Amelia Rodriguez, haven't seen you here for a while. Okay. Or should I just leave it there? I should just leave it here for the rest of the night. Anyway, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Okay, so Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, to headline the Aurea Powerhouse Conference. The thing is, we haven't seen any photos yet. Absolutely no photos. I have been checking and checking and checking again and again. I have even gone to my favorite sources. Just be prepared that there may not be any photos. This is obviously an industry function. Is probably not available to everyone unless you bought one of those tickets, which they ran out of them, I think. But the tickets were like about $300 US. Yeah, I think they were about $300. So, yeah, I don't see anything. No pictures. And that's a good thing. I want Harry to have his privacy. We don't need them up in his business any more than necessary. And we cannot be selfish looking for photos of the Duke of Sussex if it means that he's gonna, be ridiculed and all that other stuff. So, but yeah, I'm looking at one of my sources, and there is nothing. Not a doggone thing. Okay. Well, I tried. Okay, let's go to right here. Oh, yeah, it was 270 pounds. So I'm going to say that was about $300 Canadian or 300 US or both, something like that, around that amount. And of course, they had to have a little put down. Despite spending most of his life living in grace and favor cottages, well, he may have spent most of his life in grace and favor, but he has a real mortgage, not a peppercorn, a real mortgage. So whatever they're thinking, it does not matter. However they try to frame it, it does not apply to Harry because he has a real mortgage, like real people, not something that his grandma gave him when nobody was looking. How about that? How about that? Okay. And then check it out. A letter from our patron. Each year, as patron of Well Child, I'm humbled by the extraordinary spirit of the Well Child community. While the challenges facing families caring for children with complex medical needs have not lessened, the strength and resilience of those families and the charity that supports them remain steadfast. In the face of immense pressure On health and social care services, WellChild continues to provide a lifeline advocating, innovating, and ensuring that seriously ill children can be safely cared for at home and in their communities wherever possible. And I tell you, when you're in a situation like that where you're around your loved ones, that is when miracles happen. I'm convinced of that. One of the greatest privileges of my role is meeting the remarkable winners of the Well Child Award. In 2024, it was my great pleasure to join the celebrations in person once again. A moment in my calendar that never fails to bring me so much enjoyment. Hearing the stories of these children, their families, and their professionals who support them is a reminder of what matters most: community, connection, and compassion. That is what matters most. Okay. Oh, and lastly, it says here, I am especially proud of the continued growth of Well Child's Family Tree peer to peer support network. It is heartening to see more families joining this vital community, which now stretches right across the UK in a world that often feels isolating for those caring for children with complex medical needs. The family tree offers friendship, advice, and a reminder that no one has to face these challenges alone. That is very important. No one has to face these challenges alone. Time remains difficult, and there is still enormous strain on families and the charities that support them. Yet, through it all, Well Child has not faltered in its commitment. The team has expanded its reach, diversified its programs, and helped more families and continue to provide critical information and services to those who need them most. Okay, and this is closing it. It says, to everyone who has played a part in making this possible, the brilliant staff, the board of trustees, the well child nurses, the supporters, the volunteers, the families, thank you. You're part of our story, changes lives every day. And I am honored to stand beside you in this mission. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, well child patron. Wow, that is beautiful. You know, I think Harry has the best speeches in the family. That is my own biased opinion. Let's see. Kavan Slim says, I feel like Harry is making a move with this conference. Him and Meghan does these things with intent. You could say that again. Everything that they do is done with intent. So, no doubt about that. And that is why I feel like we're on the right side of history, supporting the likes of Harry and Meghan. And of course, our magnificent Mama Doria. Okay. So don't forget, December 3rd, With Love, Meghan will premiere. With Love, Meghan will premiere December 3rd. It's only one episode. So I am so sad about that. I just do not want it to end. I would love to have 6 episodes, but that's not what's meant to be. It's going to be the one episode as far as I can tell. I do hope I'm wrong, but I think that is correct information. But Probably not the green dress, which is unfortunate because it looks great on her. Again, December 3rd, save the date. And there's Kelly Zafin, Kelly McGee Zafin, or just Kelly Zafin. There's, of course, the Duchess of Sussex. They're going to do some crafting. Hey, guys, let's do some crafting. And the other lady, I don't know who she is. Uh, Naomi Osaka, I know who she is. I had no idea she was so tall. I had no idea that she was so tall. And pretty, too. And then there's that guy. What's his name? Nice sweater. And then this guy, whatever his name is, I forgot. Oh, I know him. That's Harry, the Duke of Sussex. Yeah, that is Harry, the Duke of Sussex. Harry is the other part of this romantic comedy-like relationship that we call Harry and Meghan. Oh, and Tiffany. Don't forget Tiffany will be there. Tiffany is just about any place where she can sit her champagne glass down. Oh, I forgot. She never puts that glass down. But yeah, and look for Tiffany on the show. Now, Deranger's waiting for Meghan to be exposed. This poor Deranger, oh my goodness, this poor Deranger has been waiting and waiting and waiting for Meghan to be exposed. And so far, all they have done is turn into dust. Too bad for them, but like Harry said, sometimes you kind of feel sorry for them because they keep hoping and waiting and making up stuff, and still nothing happens. They are still together. They are still in a very strong, committed union. As Harry said, that is the one that caused that conveyor belt to break. Meghan is the one who broke the conveyor belt. And that was with an emoji over her face. Okay? There was just something about those eyes. Something about those eyes. I fell in love with you the first time I looked into them there eyes. You got a certain cute way of flirting with them there eyes. You make me feel so happy. They make me feel so good. And that's why I'm falling. I keep falling in a great big way for you. My heart is jumping. You done started something. Anyway, every so often I have to break into a little Billie Holiday. Let's see. Poor Deranger ain't got nobody. I know. They're sitting up right now crying like a rat-eating onion. Crying like a rat eating onions. Okay, so I have more of Anna Pasternak, British journalist. Anna Pasternak. Give me a second to cue this up. Yeah, give me a second to cue that up. I think it's about 3 minutes long.
Baby. If tomorrow is Saturday, what day is it yesterday if today is not Friday?
Okay, not that one. Wow, the New York Times, it says here the New York Times admitting that Meghan, this was 10/6. I mean, I only just saw this. that Meghan was the biggest and most media covered celebrity attending Paris Fashion Week. She came, gagged everyone, and left. That's how you do it. Yes, she came, she gagged everyone, and then she left. Meghan reportedly was the biggest celebrity, the most newsworthy person in the entire place. But we kind of knew that. We didn't need this person to tell us that. We kind of knew that already. Okay. Nope, not that one. But yeah, there's a few people discussing Anna Pasternak right now. But we listen and we do judge. Oh boy, what did I do with it? Okay, hold on a second. Let me make sure I have it. It seems as though I added it and then I abruptly misplaced it. I know that's not it. Is it? Okay. You know what? I'm looking in the wrong place. So give me just a second here. Okay, now that is not going to work out. I promise you guys. This is not going to be another one of those situations. I have it. I really do have it. Anna Pasternak. Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. I got to look under a different thing. That's strange, though. I thought I had it like right there, but I did not. Okay, this is going to be a little more than I thought. Nope, not that. Oh, that is bad. That is so embarrassing. You know, I cannot find it. And I just listened to it today. Okay, pass. I'll come back to that later. I promise I will come back to that later. So if that is that, what have I saved here? Oh no, we did that yesterday. Never mind. Did we? Yeah, we did. Never mind. Okay, I'll keep it moving. So anyway, this is the article. It is called Catherine the Great. Catherine the Great. And this is the article that they threatened to sue. And Anna Pasternak was actually writing the story for the Tatler, which is known as the Society Bible. The Tatler was giving her little or no coverage. They just kind of told her, do as the palace say, otherwise there's going to be trouble. And she did not want trouble. And so I'm pretty sure that covertly, she still is one of their better defenders out there on the Twitter streets and such. But otherwise, it cost her a lot for writing that article because eventually, when she was ready to go on a book tour for a book that she had written, she could not do it because the palace told her that, well, they advised her, not the palace, the Tatler, they allegedly advised her that would not be a good idea. And so she didn't. And in my guesstimate, I believe she lost a lot, and I do mean a lot of money by, you know, being a big coward in the 11th hour. Oh, okay. So there it is. I see it. I just don't know how to get it over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, oh, you know what? If it's like that, then it should be there. I'm sorry, you guys. I am tripping. I am totally tripping. Oh, there we go. All right, so it's about 3 minutes long. Here goes.
Part of why I really wanted to talk to you is because of your Tatler profile of Kate, which I thought was just so fantastic.
Well, yes, it was the beginning of lockdown, and I was asked by Tatler to do a, colourful piece on Kate, and what they didn't want was a puff piece.
Great.
And this piece created the most enormous backlash. I just could not believe it. And one of the things that was levelled at me was that I had said that Kate was perilously thin. I mean, as I was thinking of Tom Wolfe and New York Social X-rays or Hollywood stars, they're all size zeros, they're all perilously thin, and that's kind of a compliment. Yes, my piece did have a very snobby side. I'm writing for Tatler. It was an article I thought would be sort of tossed aside by, toffs in stately homes in Britain. And anyway, everyone went berserk about that. And Kate and William said they were going to sue Tatler. So I had 4 months in which I was rung up by the Tatler managing director and told, and I had the world's media saying, please, can you speak? Please. And I was told, please don't speak. So for 4 months, I did not speak, which was very annoying because I had another book to publish. And everyone wouldn't interview me because they said, we can't talk to you unless you discuss Tatler.
No, nightmare.
Nightmare, exactly. That aggrieved me even more. I cannot discuss Tatlergate. And this is really interesting in light of what's happening with the media and the palace today. So I remember vividly, it was a September Thursday evening, and I was rung up by Louisa Parker Bowles, Camilla's niece, who was then managing director of Tatler. And she said, don't worry, it's all been sorted with the Condé Nast lawyers. William and Kate, they're not going to sue. But the one thing is, you absolutely must not discuss this. So you can imagine my consternation on Sunday when I go and get the Sunday newspapers, and front cover of the Mail on Sunday is Kate's victory over Tatler. Double page spread on me, absolutely,
my God.
Yes. And I knew that Tatler hadn't leaked it. I knew that I hadn't leaked it. So I knew that the leak had come straight from Kensington Palace. And a year later, the journalist who was asked to write the piece verified that William had rung up the editor of the Mail on Sunday at that Friday morning, and somebody from his office went to have lunch with them, and they planted that piece. The royal family manipulate the media. I'm talking about the print media, the British print media, in a way you simply would not believe. So, for example, in the mainstream press, it is verboten to write a piece in support of Meghan and Harry.
Wait. So when you say, they must say this narrative,
monarchy works, and especially how they treat incoming women.
Did you get all that? Did you get all that? And I don't have anything after that part where she said it is foreboding which I think that is a German word, right? Meaning forbidden. Um, you just don't write anything positive about the Sussexes. It has to have a bit of cheek to it, if not an out and out negative, you know, subplot or whatever, subtext. It just has to. That is the only way you're going to satisfy the editors. That is the only way you're going to satisfy the royal family. And so today, I was looking at a group of women, the housewives of God knows where, and one of them actually said, well, someone asked a question. The host was saying, um, and this was not what's his name, the host. This was a woman. She asked the group. She said, "Which A-list celebrity would you want?" And the one woman of color, um, she looked like she may be of some Latin extraction or something like that. She said, "Oh, Meghan Markle." And then, of course, the others in the group started with the, no, I don't think I want her in the house. And you won't believe it, but they actually decided that they would settle on Kate Middleton. They said she seems very strong. They said she seems very strong and smart. I'm like, are we talking about the same Kate Middleton? Not mediocre Middleton, but this is what the hate campaign has done. The whole point of it is to create an atmosphere where the mere mention of Harry and Meghan causes a visceral reaction, a knee-jerk reaction where um, the mention of their names conjures up all type of hostility and negativity. That is the whole point of it. And that is what the tabloids have been busy doing ever since they walked down the aisle. It has intensified and it has only gotten worse. And when Harry said it's time to go, it ain't going to get any better, he knew exactly what he was talking about. And it is frustrating that you constantly hear some of those people say, well, if they would have just stuck it out, they know better. This is why I cannot deal with Tom Sykes ever again, because they know better. They know better and they know better. And yet they still sling manure time and time again as though um, the things that we've witnessed for the past, 8 years did not happen. So it's frustrating, but the good news is the Sussexes are away from that environment. The other good news is legacy media, which includes the tabloids, is dying a very quick death. It is not what it used to be. One of the things that is telling to me is the fact that Daily Mail had put a whole bunch of stuff behind the paywall. Anything that would be somewhat interesting, anything that would, draw your attention because of some spin they put on it with the headline, a lot of those are free now. They have gone to free. Very few are actually paid. And you know why? Because even for $2 a month, you could not find a lot of people who were willing to sign up for that level of crap. There just were not enough people willing to give their details to a trashy newspaper like that. So I know it's not everything in the world, but be encouraged by that, because that means that they are slowly losing. They are losing their grip. And as Harry said, they are getting very desperate because they are worried that they are losing their chokehold on the public. They are losing that chokehold. And people are increasingly looking for alternative sources of news. And just yesterday, the right wing person that took over one of the networks, someone who is committed to making sure a narrative for a country about the size of New Jersey is given as much consideration as possible. She was actually speaking about how they are losing grip on the hearts and the minds of the public, and that some of the details that these kids are sharing with each other that have changed their feelings about a lot of things in this world is alarming to those people, because it means they do not have the level of power that they assumed they had, which is why they have gotten so desperate that they have gone to bot farms. There's all kind of people buying up bot farms everywhere from Kensington Palace to Timbuktu. There are people trying to get bot farms, which is a very crude way to get your point out there. But it's just not enough people that are listening to this nonsense, because it's everywhere and there's so much competition. There's so much competition to fill your heart and mind with negativity, with shocking and salacious headlines. So I would say be encouraged by that, because they have decided to change course and go back to mostly a totally free platform. Not completely, but they're getting there because no one was buying. And I mean, it was some juicy stories they had hidden behind those headlines. But people did not want to spend £2 or $2 just so that they could get to that nonsense. You merely go over to another paper, if there was anybody looking in the first place. How about that? Can you believe that? They are losing. They are losing. Okay, so did I do this one already? I feel like Harry is making a move with his conference. Him and Meghan does these things with intent. Okay, I did that one already. This one I have not. Also, that monarchy is circling the drain, and they all know it. Yes, and that's a very good point. I have been hearing this a lot. There is a new panic about King William, which is kind of like bad news, because it makes the inevitable seem that much closer. And I'm not ready for it to be that close. Now, does it feel this way because someone in Kensington Palace is pushing a narrative to try and, encourage things, or, encourage those talking points, I should say? Or is it really just a matter of smoke and mirrors? It's a busy time for the royal family. But I feel like we don't see Charles as much. But then again, I promise you, I thought I saw him walking to church the other day. So, you know what? I'm going to satisfy my curiosity. And I'm going to go nosing around on the interweb and see if I can figure out where this guy is, because it makes me nervous if I don't see him, because I'm not ready for that other person. Thank you, Kavan. Joan Garcia says, and yet the British royal family tabloid noise and hate still can't stop Harry and Meghan's successes, invitations, partnerships, connections, as they give H&R free press. Oh, okay, H&R. Wait, who is H&R? Harry and... Okay, now I'm lost my place with the H&R. H&R, Harry and... Did I? Oh, well. Anyway, thank you so much for the super chat. All right. You guys, where did Church Nellie go? Did you all run her up out of here with my singing? I mean, with y'all singing? She was here though, right? I thought she was here. Well, I'm scrolling back now. I don't see her. I would say, do you all think I should start singing again? But that might be how we lost her. Oh, she's with her family. Okay. I was going to say I would start singing again, but I think that's how we lost her. All right. But I can sing for you all if you want me to. All you have to do is say so. Okay. Oh man. So jealous William, it says here, William reminisces about his first home with Kate as he returns to Wales to give a speech on the Dynamic Nation and Investment Summit. Y'all know what that's about, don't you? I don't even have to tell you why this very hastily organized outing, this busy work took place. It's all to do with Harry going to that speaking engagement that he had today, or is into right now, whatever the case may be. That is the only reason why William of Wales, the Prince of Wales, even though the Welsh people really do not want the royal family using that title, is a way to humiliate the Welsh people, a very proud Welsh nation. But yeah, that's the only reason why this happened, is because of Harry. He is trying to keep up with Harry. See, by him going out today, inevitably there's going to be some talking points about how the two brothers were both doing similar things at the same time. And even further, in their little diabolical plot they've hatched, we all know by now that there are probably not going to be a lot of photos, if any, of Harry at this function. I'm just saying, be prepared for that, because it is 9 p.m. in the very icy, cold, frigid Midwest, and I still do not see any photos. So I'm guessing that there will not be any. But that's okay, because we would rather Harry have his privacy. Also, I heard Richard. Oh gosh, which Richard was it? It's the one who has a face that looks like a mask. I know which one, right? Um. Anyway, oh, okay. I got you. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for the correction. And Kavan Slim says, at some point within the next 6 months, we will be seeing pictures of Harry and the kids with Charles, unfortunately. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, I will say there is a possibility that if Charles is, depending on where they are in their relationship, if Charles is starting to go south, then that may happen. That may happen. So again, all I can say is get your mind prepared for it because it may be a thing. It may actually be a thing. Yeah, it could happen. I won't look forward to it, but it could happen. But I did see a article today where someone from, I'm supposing, Clarence House leaked a story saying that there will be no detours during the U.S. visit, meaning, of course, that Charles is not going to Montecito. I repeat, Charles is not going to Montecito. And also, I believe they're trying to say, do not bet the farm on the idea that Charles will have 5 minutes to spare to meet with his grandchildren. They are trying to say, in all likelihood, that that is not going to happen. But it is their prerogative to change their minds. Plus, as everyone has been pointing out, the Sussexes do have access to a intercontinental private jet. I just love saying that, but they do. They have access to a intercontinental private executive jet. And also, if you are a first-time listener and you've been hearing talk about Harry and Meghan in a private jet, let me say two things, one of which I am more sure of than the other. First of all, as they like to point out, this goes against Harry and Meghan's talk of the environment. It goes against their environmental chops or whatever they call it. I cannot find, and if you can find it, please share it with me. I cannot find any legitimate news source where Meghan has said anything about the environment. I have not seen anything where Meghan has spoke about global warming. None of it. And this is really going to shock you. I don't know that I've ever heard Harry say anything about the environment. This is one of those things that uses gaslighting. It requires the power of suggestion because it has been repeated so much, so often for various things. They keep repeating that. And people believe it. But you never see any situation where the Sussexes were in intense negotiation for the environment. You have not seen them at any of these environmental movements. Now, it does not mean that they do not talk about these things amongst each other and their closest friends, but I just have heard no mention of it from either one of them. And yet, the people that they should call a hypocrite Charles, William. They don't. Now, if someone said to me that Godzilla Camilla, has been going on and on about the environment, I would have to honestly say I have never heard her mention it before. And there's a few other people in that family. I've never heard mention of it. It's not to excuse them not being involved or not caring or whatever. That is not the point. My point is, there is some gaslighting going on here, and fair is fair. If that person did not say that, then you should not put words in their mouth. That's how I feel about it. And I have not seen any evidence. And yet they are constantly going after the Sussexes for the things that Charles and William are the most likely guilty of. Oh, you know what? Brilliant. That is so right. That is so right. They are going to accuse Charles of snubbing the Sussexes. Oh, you know what? That is so likely. That is so true that they're already trying to figure out when, where, and how are we going to burst that information onto the scene, that they were trying to shield. They were trying to shield the king's schedule. And so for that reason, there's absolutely no way. It's absolutely just no way. It's just not possible. Gotcha. I can hear it already. Just like the countdown to the I would be surprised if they start that moaning about the Buckingham Palace. I'd be surprised, because I think we should be beyond that. It's like, it's been a good solid, 5-6 years? Yeah. It's done for. Okay. And of course, there they are. These are the two people that were late for the coronation. And they did not try to conceal the fact that it was all their fault. They made mention of the fact that they were filming a video that they would release later on the property. That they would, I'm sorry, not on the property, but on their social media. They were practicing to get that complete. So, that's it. Any old excuse would do, I suppose, but that's what they wanted the world to know. And that's what they told Charles on probably the most important day of his life, the day he receives the, the crown of St. Edward or whatever it is, St. George. He plops that down over his head, and then it's official. Well, even more official. I mean, he was already king when his mother died, but now the oath has been taken. So that's what makes it different. And when it's William's time, he may not even wear the regalia. They will probably have it on a table nearby, but it's going to be very different. It's going to be very, very different. And as much as I say that I am not a royalist, I am certainly not a monarchist, but I am an Anglophile, and I am always interested in some of the the history and the news related to the UK and several other countries. But there's a but coming out of my mouth. A huge but coming out of my mouth. But I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, who cares? It probably wasn't nothing important. Now, this was rather jarring to some people yesterday, and that was the image of Charles on this made-up front newspaper, a mock-up newspaper mentioning the unfortunate passing of the king while he's still alive. Whose idea was it to do this? Okay. Creepy. That should not have happened. It is so foul. Amanda Platel, William, your people want one thing from you. It's time to stop being so obvious and just do it. Well, this is one of those warnings from a concerned royalist, an overpaid concerned royalist. And that, of course, is it's time to put away foolish things, to grow up and be more accountable. They do so very little. I'm not even going to start on that again, but they do so very little. And everybody knows it. And it seems to have no effect on them. It does not make them want to step it up unless they're trying to outdo the Sussexes or something else weird. So, yeah. William may understandably be bowed down with a heavy expectations? Or is it bowed down? Anyway, with heavy expectations, he has had to bear since birth with the one day becoming king. Oh, does that look weird? Anyway, he's going to be king. He is going to be king. And there's nothing he could do about it. I mean, he can, do something if he really wanted to, but it's just not done that way. Years ago, we had a black mayor in Chicago. His name was Harold Washington. Harold Washington was a member of the United States Congress, and he was also, at one time, a state representative here in the beautiful state of Illinois. And when he became mayor of the city of Chicago, when I tell you that was just like having a black president, even people from out of state could not believe that we had a black mayor. And so we did. And Harold Washington was not a very average person. Now, he had some legal problems because of taxes in the past, but this guy balanced the city budget and even brought the city of Chicago to a 5-star rating in the financial community. We had the, what do you call it? The whatever it is, but it was for the rating for the city bonds, meaning that whenever the city needed to raise money, they would issue bonds. Well, those bonds had paid off very well. And so they got 5 stars. That means that you could have confidence in the city of Chicago not going bankrupt and buying those things. Now, this was back in the 1980s. I'm not saying that it's the same way today, but that was quite a feat from a man who a lot of people claim would drag the city into the gutter. And it did not happen. The city was thriving for the 6 years, the 4 years, however long he lived. I think he had just won his reelection, right? So, and then he died tragically at his desk. But what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? And that is, people were afraid of that change. They thought it was the beginning of the end, but it was not. It was a new beginning for the city of Chicago. And it was Chicago being once called the most segregated city in the world. It was a city where a lot of Black people were finally able to be very proud and feel a part of the city, as opposed to someone who came up during the Great Migration, even though you're like the third generation born in the North or whatever. But that was the mentality at the time. So, yeah, I'm very proud of the contribution that African Americans have made, not only in the history of Chicago, but for the whole country. There's so many everyday things that you use, that you purchase, that you have driven past, and you may not know that but for a Black man, those things would not exist. In a prosperous country, people are coming up with inventions all the time. And Black people were not left out of that. We were not left out of that. There are a lot of Black people over the years that have held a patent, not a royal patent or patent, but from the United States Patent Office for things they have invented. Very proud history we have. Yes, he was quite a wordsmith, wasn't he? Yeah. And the point I was making with all of that is Harold Washington ran against the machine. He was the second mayor. First, we had our first woman mayor, Jane Byrne. She ran against the machine. And then Harold Washington, he ran against the machine and won twice. Now, the machine in politics, the machine is a patronage machine. That machine keeps the trains running on time. They call it a machine, but it's really just people. You put raw material in, you're going to get a product out. So let's say you're a precinct captain and you're helping to get votes out. Well, if your guy or girl wins the election, the machine is going to spit out a job for the city of Chicago. That is how the machine works. Or if you are a contractor and you wish to get a contract with the city of Chicago, you have to talk to the machine. So I'm going to just say Harold Washington ended a great deal of that corruption, but he actually became the machine. Now, there were people that were fearful that Harold Washington was just going to hire Black this, Black that, Black. That did not happen. Yes, there were already a lot of Black people in key positions because, after all, it's the city of Chicago. And at the time, I'm sure there was about 40% Black, about 40% white, and the rest Latino and others, right? And now the Latin population is on the rise. So I don't have a problem with that. Cool, good for them. But this is the point that I'm trying to make, is that eventually you become the machine. And it's the same thing with any institution. You might find yourself bucking up against a machine, but eventually, if you are victorious, you will become the machine. It doesn't necessarily mean something negative. It just means that you understand how to get things done. Now, whether or not it is full of corruption is up to you, the individual. But Harold Washington conquered the machine, and then he became the machine. And one of the first things that he did was to give a patronage job to the daughter of one of his arch nemesis. Yes, Aurelia Prachinsky. She became I think the Cook County recorder of deeds or whatever it was. She had one of those big key positions in the county or the city or whatever. But anyway, that was due in part to Harold Washington. I think it was for the city. I forgot what it was. The comptroller of the city. I think it had something to do with money. But that's something that anyway, he died mysteriously sitting at his desk. I'll just say that. There are people that are still very skeptical about that loss. Yes, there are people who have a lot of questions about losing Harold Washington. Now, I can believe that something nefarious happened, but I could also believe that Harold Washington, who was about 5 feet tall and weighed about 300 pounds, age 66, would not have been in the best of physical shape. There's that possibility. So I guess it really is whatever you want to believe. But there are people who had a lot of questions. And also, if you never heard this history before, it was very ironic because the mayor that was the mayor before Harold Washington, before Jane Byrne, before Michael Blandick, was Mayor Richard Daley. Papa Daley. And guess where he died? In City Hall, sitting at his desk after being mayor for 20 years. He collapsed at his desk. And so now you can understand why people were so like, this seems like we've seen this picture before. Yeah, that's why some people are very skeptical. He was talking to his chief of staff and collapsed at his desk. But anyway, that was probably the the best mayor in my lifetime. And if nothing else, the most inspiring mayor that I'll ever have in my life. But yeah, it was quite an amazing thing. And his campaign manager, Mr. David Axelrod, if that name sounds familiar to you, that's because David Axelrod became Barack Obama's campaign manager. Interesting coincidence, isn't it? I'm just saying. David Axelrod has been around. Okay, so anyway, that was a little detour, little city of Chicago history. My family had offered to come and pick me up from work. They thought I was going to be in quite a state. When I came home, they were looking at me like a bunch of ghosts. They were like, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "I thought we were going to have to come and pick you up." I said, "No, I'm fine. I mean, I'm very disappointed, but yeah." So, but yeah, the conspiracy theories. I do believe that the mayor was not in the best of shape. Every place he went, people kept feeding him and feeding him and feeding him. And of course, he had a very rich diet, and it was all the ingredients of for disaster. So, not to mention the weight of governing a city where people, constantly threatened his life. The city of Chicago has been a Democrat city, probably since FDR, right? And yet, because of racism, because of the fear of a black man, all of these lifelong Democrats were willing to vote for a Republican, somebody we never heard of, Bernie Epton. Remember that guy, Bernie Epton? They were going to vote for Bernie Epton, the spoiler. They were going to vote for him, somebody they didn't even know. We didn't even know that. I do believe that every member of the Chicago City Council is Democrat. And as far as I remember, it's always been like that. You might have somebody say, oh, I'm independent. They're a Democrat. This is a Democrat stronghold. Always has been, always will be. And yeah, so that was very interesting. Well, Heather Stroud, we may never know. We may never know. But if you have heard me say in the past that I've been here before when it comes to how things change for Black people, how they move the goalpost. Now, before, anytime a Democrat won the primary, we didn't care who the Republican was running for mayor. It didn't matter. The Democrat was going to win. But because of Harold Washington's complexion, because of his ethnic diversity that he brought to the office, they were willing to elect Bernie Epton, a Republican. That never happens. So, this ain't New York. This is all Democrat all the time. But because of racism, that's what happened. The other thing is the threats. The Obamas got the mother of all threats up until the point that Barack Obama left office. So much so that Michelle Obama was terrified. And y'all know who she blamed for that type of language that led to those threats. I don't even need to tell you. So if you recall the Sussex's wedding with the snipers on the rooftop, that's why. That's why. Because the idea of having a woman of African descent in that family was worth risking your life to make sure that she never, ever married into that family. So when they say, oh, the Sussexes lied, they didn't get married before the wedding. Yes, they did. And we know why they got married. The reason why they got married is because some clever fellows were trying to send Meghan to Mexico to go and be with her father. They were trying to do everything they could as covertly as possible to stop the wedding. So Harry and Meghan went to, the Archbishop Welby or whatever, and said, listen, can we just, and he said, yeah, why not? He probably thought it was a good idea. But because of the pressure from the palace and otherwise, he had to suddenly have amnesia. That didn't happen. Yes, it did. And we know why it happened. Because Meghan received more threats than anybody in the history of that family, bar none. And still continues receiving threats. So when people say that they think they should have stuck around, or why did they do this, or why did they do that, as far as I'm concerned, I give them a blank check because they have been through it. And that is one of the biggest reasons right there. That is what keeps Harry up at night, is the threats to his family. This is why Harry doesn't smile every time he goes out. He's okay by himself, but if he's with his family, he turns into a Secret Service agent. And we know why. Even though people like to pretend otherwise, but we know why. Anyway, I do thank you for letting me share a little municipal history with you. Let's see. Another month, another 2 million from the Duchy, 54 million pounds and counting. That's the money, not achievement. Yeah, that's the money, not achievement. Obviously, are you still sure he is value for money? You mean to tell me, and by the way, thank you, not my king. Do you mean to tell me that the taxpayers, the subjects of Charles III, have paid Billy Boy a whopping 54 million pounds since the death of Queen Elizabeth II? 54 million pounds. And he's still not happy. He is still actively trying to destroy his brother and his sister-in-law. I mean, 54 million pounds could buy you a lot of happiness, but yet he doesn't seem to be very happy. Free money this month, 2 million pounds. Rain to date, 54 million pounds. Let me see. Did that good cut off something money if he lives to Granny's age? He will receive a whopping $1.17 billion in his lifetime. That's the kind of money that the Sussexes are doing songs and dance and soft shoe and everything else they can without embarrassing themselves. That's what they are working incredibly hard to achieve, is $1 billion. And Billy Boy will receive that in his lifetime, should he live long enough. Just for being, he'll receive that kind of money. Tax-free. Now, he's supposed to volunteer and pay tax. I don't think he has. I don't think he has. I'm a bit late to the scene, but I'm going to have a I'm going to have to go have a go at Substack. Okay. Now that's Richard Palmer, one of the Richards, Richard Palmer. And of course, Angela Latrine says, priorities of a princess. Anyway, my latest Substack. Well, I think he was showing that to demonstrate why he feels he needs one, I guess. But yeah, so Zandy Sussex says the roaches are crawling to the Substack. And I Am Sage says it's actually totally fulfilling to see how many of these rats are struggling to make an income. Emily Andrews, Richard Palmer, Angela Latrine, Valentine Lowe, Robert, I'm not going to say what she said. Robert, where's my CPAP Jobson? I don't get how the tabloids like Daily Mail can justify having so many royal correspondents when the royals don't even do anything. That's a bail for that one. Let's see. And Zandy says again, they used to think they were important and close to the gods. Richard Palmer used to contact people's employers trying to get them fired. And now he's the one who was fired. And Baroness Brock says Richard Palmer retired. He wasn't fired. He aims at keeping his freelancing going, and so far it has worked for him with Observer and iPaper, I think it is. His strong points is that he really did have a 30 plus years of access to the rota, and that he was rewarded. Oh yeah, and that he was rewarded by keeping him on the press WhatsApp group. And Zandy says, "Oh, bless him, a legend in his own mind." I love that comeback. A legend in his own mind. Okay, you guys, I want you all to listen to this very closely. Very closely. When a billionaire talks, it's worth a listen. Yeah, when a billionaire talks, it's always worth a listen. That is, if you are interested in making money or just being more successful in your own right. Okay? Okay. I'm almost done, by the way.
It actually happened because of the color purple, because I had wanted to do the color purple more than.
Okay, let's.
It actually happened because of the color purple, because I had wanted to do the color purple more than anything in my life. My bosses at the time I only had a 2-week vacation period. So I agreed to give up my entire vacation for the rest of my contract in order to be able to do the color purple. And because I had done that, my attorney said to me when it was time to renew the contract, he said, "You never want to be in the position when there is something important to you to do where you can't do it. So are you interested in owning yourself?" And I said, "Sign me up for that." And he said, "Well, if you're going to take ownership of yourself, it means you have to also take the risk that if it doesn't work, then you won't get paid." I said, "I believe enough in myself to know that somewhere on the other side, I will get paid. So I will take less now in order to get more later." And here's the deal. I have had the best contract humanly possible in television. I started out with owning 50%. And by the end of the show, I owned 93%. So every year I would increase it. And because of the ownership, I then decide for myself when I take a vacation. Nobody ever again was given the authority to tell me when I could or could not work. I set my own schedule. I designed it the way I wanted to design it. It actually happened because of color.
Okay. So I hope you got something out of that. I really hope you got something out of that. Now, not all of us are going to be Oprah. Not all of us. But I learned a interesting thing. As you know, from time to time, I'll take a deep dive into a celebrity or public figure that I didn't know much about. And recently, I got very involved with, of all people, Pearl Bailey. Now, I knew it was something about that chick I did not like. I did not know what it was. I did know what it was. I'm being disingenuous when I say I don't know, because I did know. I never saw her with Jimmy Carter. I never saw her with, well, almost any Democrat presidents. It seemed like her flavor was Richard Milhouse Nixon, and Gerald R. Ford. I'm like, a Republican? A Republican? I knew it was something about her I did not like. But it goes beyond that. Pearl Bailey was not active in the civil rights movement back in the 60s and the 70s. Her philosophy is, honey, I walk with love. That was her cop out, is that she said, I walk with love. So, in other words, she became a face of the Republican Party. She became the, see, we're not so bad, are we? Now, having said all of that, let me just say this much. I had a lot of respect for Richard Nixon, and I had a lot of respect for Gerald Ford. They are nothing like the devil himself, Ronald Wilson Reagan. Reagan was the devil. Reagan started so much shit, I don't have time to go into it. But if you don't believe me, look it up yourself. Look him up yourself. You're mostly going to get a lot of glowing stuff about him, but I don't have time right now to pick through it. But he is a dreadful person. He's one of the reasons why the labor unions collapsed. His goal was to destroy the labor unions, the people that gave us the 8-hour workday, the people that gave us breaks and all kind of, safety nets and quality of life things. It was his goal to destroy it with all that old Milton Friedman crap. And, eventually our jobs went overseas. Bill Clinton helped. Don't get me wrong. Bill Clinton did his share too, but the economy was incredibly prosperous under Bill Clinton. Reagan, it was a lot of smoke and mirrors. But like I said, I don't have time to get into all of that. But those were the Pearl Bailey type of people. Those were the ones she hung around. Pearl Bailey, now, I'm not going to take anything away from her. She got her college degree at age 67. She received an honorary doctorate and decided to go back to school. And it took her about 7 years to get her degree, but she did it. Also, she had a position at the United Nations, traveled the world, and she did it with integrity. So I don't want to take anything away from her. But why am I talking about Pearl Bailey? There's the other side of Pearl Bailey. When she wasn't playing the big mama, I'm going to keep it polite like that. When she wasn't playing big mama, when she wasn't a mother to everyone, they said that Maya Angelou, who fancied herself an entertainer on the Great White Way, which is the nickname for Broadway, and word got out that they really wanted to hire Maya Angelou for the all-black version of Hello, Dolly. And they said when Pearl Bailey got wind of that, she said, oh, honey, I'll be your Hello, Dolly. Pearl Bailey had a lot of influence. I mean, the kind of influence that she did not tolerate other women of color in her sphere of interest. She did not tolerate that. And there's a who's who of who she crapped all over, especially a young ingenue just trying to find their way. She wasn't the one to help you get up to the top. She was the one who would try to keep you down. And you were not to interfere with anything to do with her. So Maya Angelou became her understudy, right? And she was looking forward to this because Maya Angelou had a young son. And by receiving that weekly paycheck for up to a year, that meant that she could have got off the road, did not have to leave her son with other people, and that she could be there for him, right? And watch him grow. Well, I cannot tell you the language that was used, but when Pearl Bailey had come in there to start working, and she looked downwind and saw what she described as that big this and that such and such that, she said, hell to the no. I do not want that thing around here as my understudy. And that was the end of Maya Angelou and Hello Dolly. That was the end of it. Fast forward to the day that Pearl Bailey received an honorary award of achievement from I forgot who. And they asked her, they said, who do you want to present this award? Maya Angelou. And Maya Angelou gracefully accepted and presented the award and said absolutely nothing about the way she was treated. Nothing. On balance, Maya Angelou has had a stellar career, right? She has done incredible things that I'm sure she didn't think was possible until it was. So there would be no need to try to go back and do it over because she was super successful in her own right. As a matter of fact, there are more people today who know who Maya Angelou is. I've seen a person of every color and every ethnicity say, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. A lot of times they say it wrong, but you know who they're quoting. They're quoting Dr. Maya Angelou, not Pearl Bailey. So great things were meant to happen for Maya Angelou, and she worked and worked and worked to make those things happen. Now, that story about the Pearl Bailey, if you're wondering, what is the source of that story? That was Maya Angelou's son, who said that there were few times in his life that he ever seen his mother cry, but that was one of them, was when she lost her position as an understudy with Hello Dolly, which was a huge thing at the time. That was huge. That was like starring in The Wiz or The Color Purple or something like that. And that was one of the few times. That was one of the few times that he saw his mother cry. And when he was telling the story about how his mother presented that award to Maya Angelou, he became inconsolable trying to tell the story because he was still feeling that hurt that his mother felt all those years later. So, anyway, like I said, I hope any of this might have been helpful to you or whatever. Love or what you will. I don't know. But I think we are done now. Yeah, we're done. So let me see. I'm taking a look at your last comments here. Did I miss any super chats or super stickers? I did not. Okay. All right. Again, happy birthday to Church Nelly. Many happy returns of the day. And do not try to copyright that song. I've already done it. Do not try to steal my song. Do not try to steal my song. Because otherwise, I will see you in court. Good night, Hazel Jones, Terry, Lydia Washington, Zacoy Farms, Felton LaShawn, Heather Stroud, Compton Caligal, Felton LaShawn, did I say already? Zacoy Farms, Black Lily, Sonia Johnson, Mary H., B. Morgan, Antoinette Kennedy, Nolan Fondo, Niandini, Wise Word, Terry H. Okay, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Kojo 41, Kojo full, Kojo, anyway. Let me see. Earth Day greetings. Church Nelly, love from Ghana. Oh, that's very kind of you. Oh, yeah. Good night, cookies and cream. All right. Let's say good night. What song do I have to go out with here? Oh, I got Ginger Avenger. I don't want to do that one no more. How about Madam Duchess? Oh, you know what? Let me take a look and see if there's any pictures of Harry. And there are not. Not yet. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. Lovely day. Lovely day. Lovely day. Okay, no pictures. A lovely day. All right, cheers.